Jeffery Dahmer is arguably the most notorious serial killer, with 17 deaths on his hands. Still, all this might seem insignificant when talking about Giulia Tofana, a single woman who assisted hundreds of women in escaping violent and abusive husbands by killing 600 of them. To know the whole story, watch this video until the end. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories like this. Let's go back in history to Italy in the 1600s. In 1633, when she was 13, Giulia was left alone in this world, when her mother was put to death for murdering her husband, Giulia's father. She grew up in a society where married women were frequently forced into abusive marriages and were thus at the mercy of their husbands. Despite that, the young Giulia went on to become extremely well known. According to many sources, she trained in the art of concocting medicines, cosmetics, and fragrances, while spending time with the apothecaries or pharmacists during her days. She gained excellent knowledge and expertise that she eventually applied in unusual ways. She soon launched her own company in Sicily. Her company prospered, enabling her to extend to other Italian cities, including Naples and Rome. Rather than perfumes and creams, her main cash cow, her big winner product, was something that arrived in small, black, beautiful bottles. This product was the key to her success and notoriety. It was a poison by the name of Acqua Tufana. Giulia created a lethal mixture of substances, including belladonna, arsenic, and lead, that were all fatal when swallowed. She gained the very appropriate nickname, the Queen of Poison. But why was this poisonous concoction so popular? Along with other items from the shop, Acqua Tofana was covertly sold to ladies who needed to end their problematic marriages for good. Her customers were not-so-faithful wives, aka widows-to-be. Using her products, they were able to commit the perfect crime. She designed the bottle to resemble a perfume or therapeutic holy oil, making it simple for women to hide in their makeup bags. The poison itself was transparent and had no flavor or smell. If consumed accidentally, usually happening after wives added a few droplets to wine, it became highly fatal. The poison would result in acute thirst, nausea, tiredness, and eventual death. The slow-acting poison was so potent that it did not affect the post-mortem examinations at the time. Girolamo Spara, a daughter of Giulia Tofana, worked in the family business as well. Acqua Tofana was distributed as the company expanded via a sophisticated underground network that Giulia established. According to some estimates, there were 200 female employees, including astrologers, alchemists, scam artists, witches, shady apothecaries, dodgy abortionists, and even church officials. Hundreds of women could escape undesired or abusive marriages thanks to Giulia Tofana's divorce in a bottle, making her one of history's most popular prisoners. But how long did she manage to carry out this questionable business operation? Well, not for long. It was a mysterious end for Giulia, one with many different versions. According to one account, Giulia was ultimately caught up in Acqua Tofana in 1650. One of her customers had second thoughts when she was about to murder her husband, and warned him against eating the poisoned soup. The woman was brought before the police to confess to her crime. She handed over the poisoned source, but Giulia was able to run and find safety in a convent, where she carried on dispensing Acqua Tofana. However, this did not continue for very long. The operation became well known, and eventually, the authorities caught up to her. In a tortured confession, Giulia Tofana admitted to being responsible for the deaths of approximately 600 men between 1633 and 1651. She, her daughter, and 3 other staff members were ultimately hanged in public in Rome for these crimes. Other people in her network, including former clients, were also arrested and punished. Giulia's body was brought back to the convent to make an example of her. On his deathbed, Mozart insisted that he was poisoned by this terrible concoction, way after Giulia's death. But there is no concrete evidence to support his claims. Aqua Tofana's exact recipe is unknown today, but these deadly drops of poison have indeed impacted history.